We are live with Lunch Break Live Chef Christina. What are you making today?
I am making Nerano Spaghettoni. It's a
All right, let's get cooking. Show us what you're making. Let's do it.
What we're going to do is I'm using very simple ingredients: zucchini, red onion, garlic, basil, and lemon-scented olive oil. And spaghetti, of course. So the thing that I started doing lately in my cooking is I take my olive oil. This is olive oil that's actually pressed with lemons, and this is going to become sort of my sauce. So I light the oil, and I'm going to put a whole clove of garlic in because zucchini is sweet, and this is going to give us a nice sweet taste to our dish without an overpowering garlic sort of scent, although I'm going to leave the whole garlic in there. Then I'm going to cut a red onion into thin half-moon pieces. Red onions are higher in magnesium, so they're really good for calming our nerves when we live in these stressful times that we live in. And we're going to let these start to sweat. You notice that there wasn't a sizzle because olive oil, while it's a high heat oil, likes to preserve the flavor. You want to start the olive oil and add your first ingredients and then turn on the heat so that you preserve that flavor. If you're going to spend money on olive oil, you kind of want to preserve it. So I'm just going to let the onions sweat while I prep the zucchini. And then in the meantime, I have water coming to the boil for spaghetti. And when you cook pasta, at least in southern Italy, they salt the water very well. They say like seawater to flavor the pasta. But the most important thing is that you don't use a lot of water, right? You want the water to just cover your pasta so your pasta doesn't taste watery. It tastes like pasta. So now the next thing is our zucchini. We're going to cut the zucchini into coins. And these coins are going to cook just like this. This is just the traditional way to cut it. If you rather do oblongs, I mean, do what you like. But you want nice, thin, try to be uniform pieces of zucchini. And these are going to get laid right on top of these sweating onions. I think that's probably enough. Okay. Now, before we add that, we're going to add to the mix a little bit of crushed red chili flakes to give the sweetness of the dish a little bit of heat. We're going to stir that in, and you can see now the sizzle's starting to build. And now the onions will sweat, and the zucchini's going to go right on top. And it's just going to sweat all together. And you know, we think of zucchini as coming from the garden and taking over the garden, and we think, oh, when will we be done with zucchini? But the beauty of zucchini is that it's high in zeaxanthin, so it's good for vision. It's high in electrolytes and vitamin C, so it's really good at keeping us hydrated. And it cooks really, really quickly. And in the summer, the one thing you don't want to do is have like all your burners going in the oven and all this stuff, because you want to try to stay cool as much as you can. When you're cooking, remember to clean your utensils and your cutting board so that your area stays orderly, so you're never overwhelmed by cooking. Even though this is a simple dish, if I had stuff everywhere, I wouldn't know what to do first. So then I have some fresh basil from my garden, and this is going to be our garnish. You can use it, not use it, doesn't matter. I think there's no summer cooking without basil, but that's me.
Welcome to Lunch Break Live, you all. We are seeing Chef Christina in action. Tom wants to know, do you grow your own zucchini? And I'm curious, do you grow your own basil?
I do grow my own basil. I actually have a little city garden, so I don't have room to grow my own zucchini. I get it from my local CSA. Every week we pick up a box of produce, and zucchini is now crazy good. So the spaghetti's going into our boiling pasta water. But when you cook pasta, remember, you want to see the pasta. You don't want it to be like floating underneath a ton of water. So no, I don't grow my own zucchini. I wish I could, but city space does not allow for that. So I do a CSA instead, which I think everyone should do if you're not growing your own food, because it allows us to support small farms, especially in urban areas like Philadelphia, you know, where we need to support those local farmers. I didn't know until recently that only 1 million people identify as full-time farmers. So that's like pretty scary to me. We need people to grow food.
Yes, we definitely need to grow more food. We need to use less food waste as well, compost, and share our garden goodies with others as well. Check this out, y'all. I am so excited that Chef Christina here. She's the author of 7 cookbooks. Listen to the name of these books: Back to the Cutting Board, Cooking the Whole Foods Way, which was named the healthiest cookbook of the decade by Washington, D.C.'s based Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. Woo! She also has a book called Cook Your Way to the Life You Want, Beauty from the Inside Out, and How to Create Health with Diet. What other books do you have? Tell us.
We have The Crazy Vegan Life, which is actually a 21-day plan to becoming a healthier vegan. We have I'm Mad as Hell and I'm Not Going to Eat It Anymore, which is a book about food politics, but they all contain recipes so that I never want my books to be you read them and then you go, now what? Like, there's always recipes so that your now what is now you can go cook. And the food's delicious and simple, and our recipes never take more than a page, so that people aren't running around picking up ingredients from 1,000 different places. So we really keep things quite easy and simple for people.
I love it. Look at this, everybody. Now tell us the name of this dish.
It's called Nerano Spaghettoni, and it comes to us from Naples. And in Naples, if we think it's hot where we are, it's hot in southern Italy. And so in the summer, their cooking is really, really simple. And they learned really early on in Italian civilization that zucchini, well, they didn't know the word electrolytes. They knew that zucchini kept you cool. So they used zucchini in everything. They stuffed it. They put it in salads. They put it in pasta dishes. This is like a classic pasta dish. The only thing I'm leaving out is the Parmigiano because I don't eat it. Although you could use a company like BioLife or Miyoko's or whoever's vegan cheese that you like. But I got to honestly tell you, Paige, I have not eaten cheese in so long that I don't even think about it. And while this simmers, I'll tell you a really quick, funny story. I was cooking a dinner for Robert's Sicilian aunt, who was 80 at the time. Very traditional Italian. I made a beautiful pasta dish, put it on the table, and she looked at me and said, "Do you have cheese for the pasta?" And I thought, cheese for the pasta? No. And all she did was that thing that Italian women do better than anybody. She went like this. That's it. I was done. That's it. Finished. I couldn't cook in her mind. So
oh my gosh, the look.
Wilting. You don't want the zucchini to be mushy, right? You want your onions to wilt. This should be done in the same time as the 7 minutes it takes to cook the pasta. When you buy a package of pasta, by the way, they will tell you that it takes 9 to 11 minutes. That's very rare. You want to cook your pasta al dente. When you cook your pasta al dente, which means to the tooth, it has a little bit of sort of, when you bite down, it's a little bit chewy. It doesn't become an insulin trigger, which is how Italians can eat pasta 9 times a day and not suffer.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Okay,
so it's almost there. Pasta's almost there. It's got 3 minutes.
Okay, and now Paula Franklin
started to soften. The nests opened up, and now it's becoming pasta that we know and love.
Paula wants to know, what kind of cookware do you like? What do you use, and what kind of cookware do you like?
I use everything from all-clad to my favorite skillet in the world is this one, which is an Analon X, which is a pan. You can see the little checkerboard pattern. It's designed for searing, and it's really good for a dish like this. If you notice, I didn't add any liquid except the oil because it really doesn't need it. And it doesn't stick, but it's not a non-stick. It's a searing pan. So it's really, I use it for more than just searing. I also use all-clad, obviously. I use Kuhn, which is a Swiss company. I use cast iron. I use porcelain-covered cast iron. I love cookware. I use these amazing handmade spoons by a friend of mine in Pennsylvania who started making them just for the show, but now he sells them, and they're all I use to cook with. One lays by my stove all the time. I'm really committed to beautiful cookware, servingware. I'm not interested in chipped bowls or pans that don't have a handle. Right, Mother Nature made eating sexy, so we would do it. And so I think cooking should be sexy too.
I love it. Your cutting board is extraordinary. I love your cutting board. And I want to give a shout out to your husband who's behind the camera doing this great work, who works with you on your show. Now tell us about your show and where people can find it. I mean, you're our special guest today, but normally you have your own show doing your own thing. Check it out, y'all.
I do. Our show runs on public television across the country and on Create TV, which is the digital public television station across the country. We started on the air in 1998, which we were the weirdest thing on TV at the time. Like, no one was cooking tofu. No, we were such weirdos that I think that's why we won the Emmy our first year. It's like people were watching the show going, what is she doing? What is she talking about? And so we've had the show on the air for 20 years now.
Wow.
For 350 episodes. The new season, which we just finished filming and is in editing now, starts in January. And next season, not the one that's going to start in January, but the one that we start filming in March, actually will be filmed in Italy. A lot of it will be filmed in Italy, which is where my heart lives most of the time. So we're going to be doing Italian vegan with local chefs, and yeah, it's exciting. And it's not anything I ever thought I would do in my life. Like, not ever. TV was not something. I was the kid who wouldn't return anything to a store, wouldn't talk to a stranger. My family all laughs and goes, really? Like, really? You're the one on TV. So here we go. So here we are, you know? So anyway, so that's the show. And everything that you need to know about me is on my website or my social media. So now we're going to take the spaghetti right from the pan into the skillet, because you want some of this starchy water to help the zucchini to become almost like a gravy. So we just go right, I love that sizzle too. It goes right to the pan. And also, when you're buying pasta, you know, buy really good quality durum semolina or a whole grain pasta, whatever it is that you like. Don't buy the, you know, El Cheapo generic brand, right? Because that's got a lot of white flour. You want to get something that's durum and semolina. And then you can see how the zucchini has sort of braised and seared right there. So now we're going to take this from the skillet right to our serving bowl. A nice Italian pottery bowl that I love and use almost every day in my cooking.
Yes.
Serving, like we're those people that, you know, set the table and do all that. And then we garnish it with some fresh basil. And you could do a squeeze of lemon juice, but since I use lemon-scented oil, I probably won't do that. And there it is, spaghettini, Nerano Spaghettino.
Oh my gosh, Christina, that's gorgeous.
It's
wow.
Quick, it's fast, it's satisfying. A dish like this leaves people absolutely no excuse to not cook.
Zero. Okay, we have a special guest joining our stream. Would you mind holding up that dish so we can show our special guest who's going to be joining you right now? There. I'm going to come out. Jane's going to stay in. Look at this. How fun is this? We can also do this. Hey, Christina, look who's here.
Hey, Jane, how are you?
I'm great. Christina, that dish is amazing. And you are also so good at explaining how to do it and getting in there and showing the tight shots. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I've been a fan for a long time, and it's really a thrill for me to be here.
Well, you cook like an artist. In fact, that dish is almost too pretty to eat. Almost, operative word. Let's see it one more time, because I really wanted to study how pretty it looks. And can you just describe the basic ingredients one more time? Because wow.
I used a lemon-scented olive oil, but you can use a straight olive oil. 1 whole clove of garlic. And the garlic kind of stays in there to give just a light scent of garlic, but not a strong taste, because this is kind of a sweet dish. Red onion, but you can use anything you like. Shallot, onion, doesn't matter. A little bit of hot spice, zucchini cut into coins, a little salt, and cook the spaghetti, put it all together. That's it.
Whoa.
It's a simple summer dish because you want your summer cooking to be fast, light, and satisfying.
And it's guilt-free pasta.
Guilt-free pasta, man.
I love it. Well, I just want to say thank you so much. I know that's time and effort, and you're the lucky one because you get to eat it.
That's the only downside of these streaming things is no one gets to eat it but us.
But you've made me very hungry. I'm going to try that dish. Thank you so much, Christina, for joining us. We so appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
And share out, people. If you like it, share it out.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.